Yeah, kind of. All right, Chris, hit me.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson
Hi,
from
Chris.
Grinding Gear Games. Welcome to GGG Live. Today, we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile Settlers of Kalguur, which launches next week on July 26th.
Are we going on a boat?
Twitch drops are enabled on...
I'm not trying to be a pause, Andy. I can't play this league, and neither can Mitch from Echo, because the Savage race is on. Chris, if you see this, if you're watching or whatever, fuck you, man. Fuck you. This is every league at this point. It launches when something else is happening. Every single time. Every single time. And I know, and you know, Chris, there's a massive crossover of MMO players and POE players. Why? Because I was at ExileCon, and they were all MMO players. Like, fuck you, dude.
Today's live stream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your Corsair back attachment. In today's stream, we will take you on a deep dive into the new Settlers of Kalguur challenge.
I know
league.
nothing that's in here.
We'll
I
cover
don't know.
the league mechanics, its new and revised crafting systems, a new trade market system for currency, some sweeping balance improvements,
What?
including 2
Are
ascendancy
they getting an
class
auction
changes,
house?
endgame improvements, some further additions to the campaign, and some
Are
quality
they getting
of
an
life
auction
features.
house?
We'll then talk about our console-native port releases and the features that
No
come alongside
fucking
them.
way.
Finally, we'll show you our new supporter packs, ending with a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of
I
Exile's
wonder if
game
this is
director
'cause
Mark
Lost,
your questions from Twitch chat.
Last Exile.
After the live
What's
stream,
it called?
we'll drop the full patch
Last
notes.
Epoch.
I'll hand over to Mark now to introduce
It's had a
the
lot
new
of
league.
quality of life shit. Hi, Mark.
We've really innovated with the content in this
Wonderful
league,
guy.
and I'm really excited to see what everyone thinks. So let's just get right into it with the trailer for Path of Exile, Settlers of Kalguur.
Yeah, this might be the signs of the stuff that's in PoE 2 coming to PoE 1, which is what Jonathan told us was going to happen. And obviously would.
Rayclast is a cursed land. You'd have to be mad to settle here. And yet... Welcome to King's March! It's not much yet, but with your help, we can erect the greatest city Rayclast has ever seen. We'll need resources
Mining, poggers.
and savvy planning. Soon we'll attract settlers, craftsmen, fortune
Combinators,
seekers, and of course, pirates.
Yar!
But if we prevail, our ships will be heavy with gold. We hope to achieve the impossible. We hope to build a home.
Is this individual? I've got to imagine it's individual, right? Or is it everybody working together? Whoa! No fucking way. Oh my god. No shit. Oh, blessed be. I mean, when I asked about this, Jonathan was like, fuck no. And I'm like, okay. I mean, he did say it was going to be with gold. Does it get ludicrously expensive if you're high up? Does it get crazy expensive? Because that's what Jonathan said it was going to be in PoE 2, is that the more points you want to respec, the way more expensive it gets. Well, is this a good thing? This is an amazing thing. PoE has this fucking weird problem for some reason, that they want you to kind of be committed to your character. And often, if you want to make your own build in PoE, and you fuck up, which you can do, the advice is often just to completely re-roll, which I think is totally ridiculous in a game that has like 1 billion different builds. Like, I made like a 2-handed Marauder character, right? What if I want to try Sword and Shield out? Well, that's a big respec. And if you're new to the game, that's really hard to do because you had to use orbs. Like, really. And you might not even like it and you want to change it back to the other one. And it really messes it up. Now, PoE sticks to it with their overall personality about it by saying, like, yeah, but we want you to be, like, committed to your character. The players don't, though. And they just use a third-party app called Path of Building to just build all their characters beforehand to avoid having to deal with this system and then be kind of like, so they're like, it's cake and eat it too scenario, right? It's like, oh, well, in game it works this way. It's like, yeah, but nobody's doing that. Like, anybody who's played PoE has Path of Building probably installed. What the fuck? A currency exchange market? No way. 5 exalts is 1 divine. No fucking way. How much is a mirror worth? New ascendancy class. Okay. Massive melee. We're going flicker strike. We're flickering. We're flickering. I know it makes some of you sick on the stream. We're flickering. We're fucking flickering, dude. We're flickering all over the place. Meow! Buzzsaw, bitch. Here we go. Brr, bunker steer. Bunker steer all fucking day. Let's go. Okay, they're keeping the map juicing, are they? Flicker strike bunker steer is so fun. And everyone's just like, dude, you can't kill any Ubers with this. You'd need crazy gear to do this.
In Path of Exile Settlers of Kalguur, you will encounter some familiar faces from the Expedition League. Danig, Rog, Tujin, and Gwenin are Kalguuran people who are trying to establish trade between Rayclast and their homeland. They have recruited many curious characters from Rayclast, including some you may recognize, but are also seeking help of a powerful exile, like yourself. You will first encounter Johan, the King's Hand and Lionized Watch. He's there recruiting workers, traders, and exiles. Johan, under the command of the King of Kalguur, has been sent here to build a new city called King's March, which intends to become the hub of commerce between Rayclast and Kalguur.
Is it like a whole new continent, essentially?
Soon, he will bring you to the planned site for King's March, which you'll notice has humble beginnings as just a tavern in a field. But with your help, it won't stay like this for long. It takes a lot to build a town. The Kalguurans will ask you to seek out resources that can be used to begin construction. On your adventures, you might find minerals such as crimson iron, which are veins of iron that have been overrun with corruption, spawning dangerous foes when you approach. Or perhaps orichalcum, which you will have to liberate from the demons worshipping it. Petrified amber attracts mindless, blighted enemies, while bismuth has a strong affinity to the elements and causes the area to become unstable. If you're lucky, you might find vericium, a material as valuable as it is dangerous, and guarded by very powerful foes. Once you defeat these monsters, the deposit will automatically be tagged for mining. But first, we need to get someone to do the hard labor.
Yeah, I can't stop the gameplay.
This is, of course, a trade expedition, and nothing is free. Miners, along with other workers that the Kalguurans have hired, must be paid in cold, hard gold, which you'll notice is now dropping throughout Rayclast.
No shit, so gold is here.
You will have control about who gets hired into your enterprise. Once you have accumulated some gold, head to the town and talk to the recruiter, Rauf. He's been busy tracking down hardy folk across Rayclast who are looking for work.
John Boulder the Miner.
You'll notice each person has their specialties.
Oh, they have a salary.
Wage cost. It'll be up to you to hire and fire as you please. Over the course of the league, you'll be searching for your perfect employees for each job.
Oh god, so
Once
you can roll the people?
You have to keep them paid, safe, and alive. Which
we'll
get into later.
And alive?
Here we have a prospect who has a specialty in mining. We'll start with that so we can begin to retrieve some of those resources we were talking about earlier.
Can you alchemy all people?
Let's go find some more and put our miner to use. Oh, we've found a vein of orichalcum ore. It's guarded by dangerous demons worshipping a strange shrine. The shrine buffs the demons, giving them power, but once you defeat them, you can seize that power for yourself. After that, we can tag the ore, and our mining specialist will get to work. Soon, we encounter a few more deposits, each with a different dangerous encounter. After you have tagged the mineral veins, your miners will get to work collecting resources in real time. They might take a while, but will continue whether you are logged in or not. The work can be sped up by hiring more or better miners, and by upgrading the mining station back in King's March to equip them with advanced pickaxes.
Okay.
Alright, some time has passed and our miners have been able to get the resources back to town.
So you just click them and go. So you're not going to be interrupted on gameplay.
We can now upgrade the town and build new structures. There's plenty of options. We just need to decide where to start. I think we'll start with the tavern, the
Yeah.
beating heart of Kingsmarch.
More beer.
It can be upgraded instantly to improve the recruiter's prospects. And you can find various important NPCs relaxing here. Next, we'll upgrade our mining station. You can upgrade this to improve the efficiency of your miners and allocate our newly hired workers to mining.
I hope this doesn't become tedious.
You will eventually
Mission
need
board
a
gaming.
smelter, where you can send your ore to turn into more valuable bars. Then we have the Disenchanter, where you can bring your magic, rare, or unique items to be added to a queue to be disenchanted over time. The items will be broken down into thaumaturgic dust, a new resource used for crafting and shipping. We'll get more into that later. And of course, a town needs food. You could invest in farming, where you can select crops to grow and harvest. But don't worry, you won't be manually watering anything.
I would kind of, initial impressions are I'd kind of like to pre-assign people. If I've got like a farming specialist and I'm always going to use that guy for farming, I would like to be able to just pre-assign that and set them to just do that. Yeah, you could do that. That'd be important. I don't want to come to this fucking screen all the time and piss about with assigning people.
Wonders of delegation. With all these resources piling up, there will be excess that we can spend. Let's talk about rewards in Settlers of Kalguur.
Gimme big axe.
Eventually, you can build a harbour and establish shipping routes between a number of different Kalguuran and Karui ports for trade.
Do I need oil? Barrels of
You'll
oil.
be able to pile your acquired resources onto these ships and send them to a port of your choosing, where your traders will haggle for the best deals. Each port will return specific rewards based on what you send them. They accept all types of resources, but will have a preferred type that they'll currently pay more for.
Uh-huh.
And you'll want to get onto this, because eventually you could be bringing in shipments like this. This.
What the fuck? So it just gives you so much currency to... This is good. This is just currency to fuck about with, surely. Like, you could just start crafting a bit more mindlessly. And there's currency trade as well. Oh.
Or even this.
3 screens of items. Oh my god, look at all the scarabs. Fuck yeah, dude.
Today, we're going to trade with Kalguur. You'll notice that as we send more resources, this risk meter creeps up. Much like the dangers on the shores of Wrecklast, there are dangers out at sea. Monsters, pirates, environmental hazards. You'll want to try keep your shipment safe. You can do this by hiring workers that specialize in shipping. The more of them you add to the ship, the less risk there will be.
No.
Like this gentleman, who's
Big
famous
John.
for fending off even the most dangerous of pirates. Now let's get that shipment going, and we'll continue exploring Wrecklast while we wait for its return. This is the first Path of Exile League that experiments with true, real-time mechanics. You can send out shipments, go and have lunch, and come back to your rewards. Many mechanics in the League work this way, so you'll always have some ongoing project or outcome to look forward to.
Yeah, I know,
When your shipment
Raven.
has returned,
Do the math.
or met its demise, you'll get notified, and at your leisure you can return to the town to collect your rewards. Our shipment returned safely, so let's go see what we got.
4
Ooh,
exiles.
they've sent us a unique item alongside our rewards, perhaps hoping to secure us as a loyal customer for the future. Aside from shipping, the Kalguurans are big on their technology. They have hired Isla, a familiar face from the Heist League. She is an engineer who the Kalguurans have employed for a very exciting purpose.
Yeah, Mage Blood or Riot.
You're not the only one who understands how profitable running maps can be. Once at Endgame, Isla can help you build a series of Kalguuran modified map devices. You can then put a queue of maps into them. If you've hired a few skilled Atlas runners, they will put themselves to work running those maps for you one after another. Look, more delegation. Once again, you'll be notified when the rewards are ready to be collected. You can put lots of maps in the queue, so don't feel obliged to go back there all the time.
What the fuck?
Be careful,
All those
though.
shitty maps you never want
The
to run.
difficulty of the map impacts the risk of your workers perishing.
95% for the runners to be permanently
Try
killed.
to pick the best workers. Or perhaps just ones you don't like.
Please tell me I can rename these workers. I desperately need that. Is that in here? Is that in here? No, I'm messaging Chris right now. Chris Wilson. Please, for the love of God, let us rename the workers. So our dear friends can fail us and die in the maps. Done.
Consider the difficulty too. Sometimes it's better to just run it yourself. You'll see there are many benefits to having a whole-ass town at your fingertips. Let's talk about crafting services.
Yeah, I said that.
You should definitely consider building a runesmithing table. This is operated by Danig himself, using powerful Kalguur and blacksmithing arts. He can engrave runic magic onto your weapons using runes. There are many rune types and combinations to choose from, and you can unlock new crafts that can be applied to your weapons as enchantments. Our design intention here is to take powerful effects you would usually only find on unique items, like this modifier, which you might recognize from Doomfletcher's Prism. Danig can apply it to your two-hand
No
maces.
shit.
There are over 100 different special crafting outcomes,
Oh my
ranging from
God.
ones very easily applied to very difficult. The rune types can be acquired through trade with Kalguur, or defeating powerful bosses.
Unethical.
The Kalguur and tech benefits don't end there. We're also bringing back a formerly overpowered crowd favorite.
Yeah, the Recombinator.
Recombination.
I mean,
Isla is trying to master this. She just needs you to help her with getting resources. The system isn't as strong as it used to be, but it still allows you to combine two items together, hoping to get the best modifiers of each
roll it.
into a single item.
I watched an Empyrean crafting video of recombinating shit where they did like 60 or something belts to get one outcome. It worked once. It was crazy. It was like rolling. It's like 60. They bought like 60 belts and they got one out of it.
Between running a town, shipping, and exploring, you'll be collecting a lot of extra gold. It is now the primary resource for two huge new quality of life features that we are putting to test.
Okay.
Firstly, you can use gold to respec passive quests. This is a feature from Path of Exile 2 that we've decided just makes sense to port back.
Good shit,
The higher
dude.
level you are, the more expensive it
Okay,
gets.
so they're using the exact system. Yeah, okay,
And
that
the
makes
next
sense.
one is absolutely massive. A currency trade market.
What the
The
fuck?
Kalgurans have recruited Faustus, another NPC from the Heist League. He allows you to asynchronously buy and sell currency and
Who's determined they must have used the current market to decide what it's going to be. So 1-to-1 on there. Okay. That's not bad for a chaos. That's pretty good. You set them up. Oh, it's just the players
most other
dictating it.
stackable items.
Wait, so is this currency coming from other players? Is it just a disguised auction house? Oh, that's genius. That's so clever. Just let the market decide what the current price is. Oh, that's so good. So I wonder, what do you do? Oh, I have. Okay, so you just go up there and say, I've got a shitload of chaos, and it'll... Oh, yeah, fantastic.
Other players, without the nuisance of price fixes and people who never respond.
Fuck you, man. It's been like 10 years of that shit. Get out of here, cartels. Yeah, call it out. It's been like 10 years. I only got into POE later, but god damn it, man. I tried doing a trade league thing for a while. I was like, this is just really annoying. And you know what's worse? For whatever reason, a lot of POE players have, let's just say, degenerate names. And having to, like, trade with someone called Cum Dumpster 69, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You know what I mean? I don't like that whatsoever. Like, so many players just have so many ridiculous fucking names in PoE, and I'm like, oh, man. Or Degenerate Hideouts. Degenerate Hideouts, fine. You got your waifu fucking hideout, whatever.
All you need to do is select what currency you want, say what you have, and your ideal ratio. It works kinda like a real-life stock market.
Oh, so it might not be
Faustus will make
accepted
the
straight
trade
away.
happen for you,
Oh,
so long as there is someone selling on the other end for the same rate or less. You'll be able to go back to blasting
Interesting.
monsters while trusty Faustus does the dirty
Okay,
work.
so it's not immediate.
Notifying
You can
you
just
when
stick it
your
up like an
currency is
auction
ready for
house.
collection.
Yeah, and
All
then
you
somebody
need to
will
do is
accept
pay
it.
him a
That's
small
great.
amount of gold for his time.
Thank you for the gifted sub to Dumpster Bandit. Thank you.
Cards on the table. This is an experiment to see if this type of asynchronous trading has a place in future Path of Exile releases.
Yeah.
We're very excited to see how it goes.
I mean, can you ever go back?
Now, given that Faustus is an expert in black market trade and shady deals, he also provides another service, offering items for gold. The
Mystery,
items will
though.
generate with random rarity, and on average, the modifiers on them are better than normal.
On
This
average.
can be a very nice way to get some targeted items during the campaign.
On average.
For serious
Yamba!
crafters, it can be a great starting point for making those elusive, specific in-game items, which perhaps you could take to the runesmith afterwards. It's worth noting that you can invite Faustus to your hideout, where he will always be available for respecking, currency exchange, and black market items. As your town grows, it will attract more attention, good and bad.
Oh no.
Settlers
The
of
settlement
Kalguur
needs
features
some
3
attention.
endgame bosses that will close in on your operations, wanting a piece of the pie. They might capture and ransom your workers,
Oh no!
your entire ships.
Oh, you have to let us
You have to
name them.
make some tough decisions. Will you take them on or pay them off?
Oh, please let us name
One
them.
example
For the
a
love of
boss
God,
is
please let us
Hassan,
name them.
The Bandit Lord. You won't stumble across this boss by accident. Instead, this unsavory character can come into your town at night and take your Atlas runners hostage, holding them for ransom. What happens next is up to you. Perhaps you'll refuse to negotiate with bandits.
We don't negotiate with
leading to a
terrorists.
fight to defeat Sasan and rescue your workers. If you're not up for the heroics, you might simply pay the ransom in gold. Or perhaps these workers were especially disappointing, and you'll just leave them for dead in true Ray class fashion. They knew what they were signing up for, right? Of course, the heroics might be worth it for other reasons. These bosses can drop new unique items.
Spell damage ward.
In sum,
it's
Settlers
lucky.
of Kalguur is a very experimental league with new
Sick!
mechanics that
Throw
will
shit at the
completely
wall,
change
see
how
what
you play the
sticks.
core game. We've been sitting on a lot of these ideas for a while
Sick.
and can't wait to share them with you. But there's a lot more to this expansion. Let's talk about balance. Well,
Melee.
we finally rebalanced the Gladiator.
Melee's just
It's
kick
been
wide
a long
fucking
time
people
coming.
happy.
Like before, there are passive skills that allow you to invest in bleeding and block.
Yeah.
We've designed new skills replacing some of the old ones.
Oh,
Like
bleeding you
this,
inflict is
War of
aggravated.
Attrition, which is very handy for long, sustained boss fights. Further alongside the Gladiator theme, this new passive allows
Double
you to combine
damage.
different weapon types while dual wielding to get a variety of powerful bonuses. For example, holding a dagger will give you more critical strike chance, while holding a mace gives you more area of effect. Of course, you could just use Varanastra for all weapon type bonuses. And finally, we have a new notable which allows you to invest in the newly added retaliation skills. These are active skills which require you to meet a certain condition in order to use them.
Okay.
Once you meet that condition, you can unleash devastation on your foes. Here we have Eviscerate, which requires you to have a shield.
Boo!
Or for those who like to dual wield, Sword Storm, which is
Blade
great
Storm.
for obliterating bosses. Here we have the Divine Retribution skill. This one has the condition requiring you to block. You can then unleash a devastating spell, causing lightning bolts to strike the ground in an X shape around
Is it active
your
or
target
passive?
location, doing huge amounts of damage.
Oh, it's like it. That was
And
passive.
of course, in true Path of Exile fashion, there are many avenues to invest in these mechanics further on the passive tree and a new support gem. You are able to increase the leeway duration after meeting the condition, reduce the cooldowns, or just increase their damage. The
Okay.
world's your oyster.
Don't be afraid of the POE
wasn't
talent
the only
tree.
ascendancy class we've changed. As we develop Path of Exile systems, we often find ourselves reusing mechanics, increasing their depth, and allowing more
First
avenues
time.
to invest into them.
First time,
As
don't be
such,
afraid.
The Raider Ascendancy class found itself lacking, with many of its passives commonly available elsewhere. We want our Ascendancy classes to always feel like they're pushing the boundaries, allowing you to change your character in ways that are meaningful and ideally
Ascendancies
unique.
are subclasses, essentially.
As a result, we've straight up removed the Raider.
No
Rest in
sh-
peace. And we've added a new
Rip.
class in its place, the Warden. This class is largely inspired by its predecessor from the Affliction League, with a few changes. The Warden now focuses on elemental attacks, changing the behavior of Shock, enhancing Freeze,
Okay.
and replacing Ignite with Scorch. There's also a skill that allows you to go ballistic with your elemental damage, periodically. The class also grants Barkskin, which is a skill that can be used to mitigate physical damage from hits. After taking a number of hits, it increases your evasion, making it a great defensive choice. Finally, the last thing the Warden can specialize in is tinctures. These are an alternative to flasks from the Affliction League.
Oh.
We're bringing them back
Good.
with adjusted mechanics.
I missed Affliction League.
Tinctures can be placed in your belt, replacing flasks. You can inherently only have one tincture active at a time, and it requires a melee weapon to use.
Oh, melee rising.
While activated, they grant a powerful buff. They can drop as magic items, or be modified with currency to grant extra bonuses.
That was a nice
Here
roll.
is a prismatic tincture. This one increases elemental damage by 100% while active. You'll notice it has two extra effects. One is that it applies mana burn every second. Mana burn is a debuff that builds up while tinctures are active that causes you to lose mana, losing more mana for each stack. Tinctures also have a cooldown, so once you have disabled one, no other tincture can be enabled for a time. These changes make tincture use a more active and interesting choice than it was in Affliction.
Sick.
Both mana burn and the cooldown can be modified through modifiers on the tinctures or on the passive skill tree. Players will want to maximize their tincture uptime for sure.
Fucking Diablo 4.
Here we have a couple other tinctures. The Poisonberry tincture is excellent for poison builds. The Rosethorn tincture is the choice for those wanting to deal critical strikes.
I like that one. I like it when it goes big.
You might be wondering, with the removal of the Raider, where has the Frenzy Charge investment gone? We've added a Frenzy Charge passive skill to the Deadeye, replacing the Rupture passive skill. On top of Ascendancy classes, we have revisited a number of core mechanics. This time taking pains to ensure easy access through the passive tree, skill gems, and simple items. We don't want all the powerful mechanics to be hidden behind layers of complexity. Let's just rapid fire through the key points. If you want more detail later, you can read the patch notes, which will be dropped after the live stream.
5,000 hours
Be
invested
sure
and
to
still
let us know
learning.
what you think. There's a lot of changes, so be prepared for a bit of a shock to the system. I expect it will take several days for the dust to settle on this one.
Yeah.
Firstly, we've made some drastic alterations to
Oh,
melee
we're getting
skills.
metal music.
Let me just rip this band-aid off.
Uh-oh.
Melee totem skill gems have been removed. We're trying to adopt a philosophy.
I don't
with
think
melee
I'd have done
going
my
forward
first lab
that
without them
unlike
totems.
Other builds, it will be far
I literally
less
just left the
oriented
totems and
around
ran
set
away.
and forget gameplay.
Yeah, I just left them
You
and
will
ran away.
deal the damage yourself, and you should
I'd
be
prefer not
rewarded for
to.
doing so.
Yeah, I want to smash face.
To compensate, we have buffed the damage on almost every single melee skill. As the majority of this damage growth comes from gem levels, we have also made them cost more mana as they level, but it's nothing like the mana costs on spells. Here are some examples of the damage and costs before and after. Heavy Strike has gone from dealing 313% attack damage at gem level 20 to a massive 552% attack damage. It's also worth noting it no longer knocks enemies back. And Sweep has gone from dealing 281% attack damage to now dealing 664% attack damage at gem level 20. These are just two examples.
I'm curious
But the majority
about
of melee
Flicker
skills are
Strike.
now dealing approximately 75% more
Please?
damage at level 20. Of course, with melee comes close proximity combat.
It does.
So, you need some good defensive options. New base types with higher defensive values will now drop throughout the endgame.
Okay.
As you reach yellow, red, and purple maps, you can expect to find higher tier base types in each.
Sick.
For example, Val Regalia and Hubris Circlet are no longer the best in slot items for Energy Shield. There are new base types that surpass them. Combined with some quality changes, which we'll talk about soon, you can now get better items than ever before in these slots. To compensate, we have reduced the amount of flat evasion and armor from the Grace and Determination auras, but overall, you're getting more defenses than before. On top of this, we have buffed life modifiers on magic and rare equipment. You can now get as high as 189 additional maximum life from a single modifier on body armors, and more on other slots too.
Mustard.
Kaum's Heart has also finally been restored to its former glory and once again grants plus 1000 to maximum life. I mentioned quality. Quality on weapons and armors is being changed to apply multiplicatively. In other words, weapons with full quality will give 20% more physical damage, and armor with full quality will have 20% more local defenses. For melee, this will mean a damage increase for almost all builds using physical damage attacks, and it will mean more evasion, armor, energy shield, and ward for all builds.
I'm still going to charge into a pack of
Endurance
reflects without
charges
being
no
immune
longer
and
grant
just immediately
elemental
die.
resistances,
Like, that is absolutely going to
but
happen.
instead grant additional elemental damage reduction, making it multiplicative with resistances. You can now get 4% per charge, alongside the existing 4% physical damage reduction. To compensate, we have made some changes to the Juggernaut, and various unique items like Eternal Damnation. You can get more maximum resistances from the tree, specifically around the Marauder class start. These of course can stack with the new elemental mitigation from endurance charges. On top of this, duels can now roll maximum elemental resistances as modifiers. Since we're making elemental mitigation more accessible, we've heavily reduced accessibility to physical damage taken as chaos or elemental damage. Those stats are still around, but you should not expect to be getting full conversion anymore. All block passives have been buffed, so you can now more easily achieve block cap from just the passive tree. The Keystone Versatile Combatant has been improved to have less of a penalty to maximum block. A number of Life Leech passives have been buffed to generally allow for more acquisition of maximum leech rate for life.
Never gonna die, baby!
Val Pact has been reinstated to its former glory for instant Life Leech. But only
I
for
am gonna
melee.
grok smash. This is what I was
We've
after.
reworked
I'm a
Flesh
melee
and
boy
Stone.
all day, every
Previously,
day.
this buff skill
I don't
granted
care if it's
maim
inefficient.
and
I
blind,
love cutting
depending on the
fucking heads
stance of
off,
our
baby.
character.
Give me that.
Now, while
Give me
in
that.
Sand Stance, the skill simply provides damage mitigation, becoming more effective the closer you are to enemies. While in Blood Stance, enemies will take more physical damage the closer you are to them. This skill will now greatly favor melee or close range gameplay. Given we're doing a Kalguuran League, Ward has also received a bit of attention. There are new uniques that grant Ward, and the base restoration of Ward is now faster.
Bone Shatter. I tried Bone
To
Shatter. I
compensate,
tried all the melee
Olroth's
skills, but
Resolve
God,
has
when I
been
landed
nerfed.
on Flicker Strike,
But
it was
Ward
like
builds will still be
it's like the
possible.
panties fell off. I was like, that's my jam.
Anyway,
That
that
is my
was
jam.
most of the purely
It's just a
defensive
shame my
changes.
stream can't handle
Now
it,
let's
like,
look
in
at some
terms of
the
watching it,
offensive
like,
and
it looks cool,
utility-based
but-
ones. There are more and
can't
better
watch
ways to
this.
deal with mana as an attacker on the
Meow.
southern hemisphere of the passive tree. Wands, daggers, scepters, claws, and staves now have higher critical strike chance values than ever. Wands can go as high as 10% without modifiers. Sandstorm Visage has been made rarer to compensate, instead of reducing its power. For
Right.
you wand attackers, wands now have higher attack speed than ever to compensate for their low damage.
I mean, who uses a
exclusive
wand?
skills such as
Why would you
Power
want to be
Siphon,
Harry Potter?
Kinetic Bolt,
Disgusting.
and Kinetic Blast now have faster attack times.
Gross.
Impale passives have been revised and in general buffed.
Melee chads, make way.
The buffs granted by Warcries are now simpler but more significant, and more universal to builds. They also now apply to allies by default.
Cool.
Banners have been reworked. Instead of
We
having a
going duo
reservation
Raven or
cost,
what?
they are now free.
We teaming up?
However, they don't grant a permanent buff. Banners now need to be placed for the effect to be active.
Okay.
However, once placed, they are far more powerful than before. Additionally, there are new ways to prolong the effects and more ways to invest in them than ever before. Rage has been made more fundamental and discoverable. Rage is now multiplicative attack damage,
Sick.
but no longer inherently grants attack speed or movement speed.
Oh, there's got to be some
It
ludicrous
has a
melee
new
builds.
cap, and you can find many new passive
They're gonna
clusters
be
that allow
fucking
you to invest
disgusting.
into the mechanic. The goal is
And
to
I
make
can't
Rage
wait.
more powerful as a baseline, and less gated behind the use of specific unique items and ascendancy classes. Berserk has been nerfed, just so you're aware. We have changed how bleed works too. You can now find aggravated bleed on the
I saw
passive
that.
tree. When applied, all bleeds on the enemy will deal damage as if the enemy is moving for the remainder of their duration. The skill Ensnaring Arrow no longer interacts with bleed, so no more will you have to apply bleeds and swap to a bow. You can now achieve the same result using aggravated bleed passives without the annoyance. Rupture from the Deadeye has been turned into a support gem. We've added the new
You're at
overexertion
14,000
support gem,
hours played?
which
Jesus.
highly favors slam builds. Now, it's time to look at a hot topic, Magic Find. In the Settlers of Kalguur expansion, we are going to be removing item quantity bonuses from all character
No
items.
shit.
This will not affect existing items in standard leagues. Magic Find is intended to be another axis on your gear you can scale once you have achieved the power you want. With item quantity being
dope.
only available on unique items, this meant if you wanted to get the most out of it, you had to be playing a very specific build. We still want people to be able to invest into Magic Find, but now only through item rarity. This can be obtained on a number of rare item slots, and by a much larger number of builds.
I just want to point out, Chris Wilson is currently trolling me in Discord because the Savage Race is on. Fucking dickhead. I see it in the corner of my eye. He's currently trolling me.
What about Venture's Gamble, you might ask? Here it is now.
He's cacked W at me.
This is one of the biggest
His
balance
last message
patches
is
we've
just
ever
soz.
done. I
S-O-Z.
can't promise that
Soz.
existing builds will all be safe. Even
He's
we
giga
aren't
chatting
able
me
to
right
predict
now.
all the outcomes here, nor have we even gone into every single change. Just the major ones. I don't know, man.
Fuck, man.
Balance is hard. But the sheer number of
Okay, I need this as some sort of like gift sub fucking message for or some sort of command that we can play. This is like, frankly, that's a skill issue from Ian. I don't know, man. Balance is really hard. Like, that's what you want to hear from one of the biggest games of the planet from like the lead director. It's like, I don't know, man. It's really hard. Like, have you seen our skill tree? That's like, frankly, that's a skill issue. That's what that is.
rare
I don't know,
item
man.
slots,
Balance is really hard.
and by a
It
much
is!
larger number of
And
builds.
nobody cares.
What about Ventor's Gamble, you might ask? Here it is now. This is one of the biggest balance patches we've ever done. I can't promise that existing builds will all be safe.
No.
Even we aren't able to predict all the outcomes here, nor have we even gone into every single change. Just the major ones. I don't know, man. Balance is hard. But
That's what
the
you wanna
sheer
hear.
number of new,
I don't know, dude.
viable
It's
options
fucking really
is
hard, dude.
exciting. Especially for melee. And we're determined to drag the game in a better direction. Be sure to read the patch notes after this. It's going to be a ruckus. In 3.24, we
Holy
overhauled
shit.
the in-game experience by introducing a new tier of maps and reworking scarabs.
This is Mark.
We
This
want
isn't
to
Chris.
continue to improve these systems.
Chris oversees
and introduce
GGG.
more exciting
Mark's in
in-game
charge of
content
POE 1
every
and Jonathan's
league.
in charge of POE 2.
325 is no exception. Let's check out the myriad of changes coming in Settlers of Kalguur.
How is there more?
First up,
This is like an
we are
expansion.
changing many scarabs. We won't go into too much detail here to avoid getting lost in the weeds, but here's a few new ones. Be sure to check out the patch notes after this for more detail. We've also added an additional map device slot, which will be unlocked upon completing your first 10-way Maven encounter. This simply allows for more combinations of scarabs in maps, resulting in more difficulty and more rewards. This is on top of the existing additional slot that can be unlocked by completing your first Tier 17 map. There are now 6 map device slots in total. You might have seen our teaser, where we revealed we'll be adding new special encounters to the endgame. One such encounter is the Nameless Seer, lurking in Tier 16 and 17 maps. This NPC will give you a selection of unique items, and you can pick one for free. In
It
Tier
launches
16
during the
maps,
Savage race,
he now
dude.
has an additional
Brutal.
feature, where
Absolutely
you can
brutal.
scry a map. This allows you to swap the divination card drops of the current map with another map on your
No
atlas.
shit!
Just one caveat. You cannot have the same map be in multiple swaps at the same time.
So this solves, like, people manipulating the Atlas tree to make sure they lead to certain divination drops, right? That's what they're fixing here. Because there's a lot of that going on where it's like, well, if you do this core of maps, you'll likely get the one with the right drops on it.
If you want to undo your choice, you can use a scouring orb on either map on your atlas. We've also made some
Free
updates
game,
to
by
a
the way.
couple of
Yeah,
leagues.
exactly.
Blight has been updated with some atlas passive skill changes.
This is why no one really cares about paying for
double
MTX
anointed
and
amulets
POE.
can
Like,
now
you get
drop
way
in
more
Blight
than you
Ravage
value for money.
maps. We've also introduced a new type of oil that can only drop from Blighted and Blight Ravaged maps. Ritual has also been updated. You can now find one new and many reworked base types, new unique items, corpses you can use to raise as specters.
No.
And occasionally a
To be
frag-
clear, if you've other players who've never played PoE, PoE is entirely free. Your microtransactions are skins and expanded different types of storage that you have. You have storage anyway, but it's like different tabs. Some of them are automated, things like that. So no, you can play the game completely free. You can go. You'll find you'll want some conveniences. That's it. But yeah, that's it. The game is entirely free.
Granting access to the King in the Mists boss fight from the Affliction League. He will drop a number of
Yeah, you
unique
buy
items that
quality
were
of life
familiar
item
from the
management and skins.
league, but not that which was taken, as it is
We have a
now
guild
that
set
which was
up
taken away.
on PoE. We have a guild that runs.
However, he now drops a different modular jewel that you might recognize from the Necropolis League.
Kind of like Guild Wars 2, yeah. But almost more fair. Like, so obviously,
In Tier
it's
16
kind of what
and
you want
Tier
to pay.
17
Some of the
maps,
skins are more
you can
expensive
now
than others.
encounter
You don't
the
need them.
Wildwood,
Spell
also from the
modifying
Affliction
effects.
League. In case you missed it, the Wildwood is a mysterious forest fraught with danger. In the darkness, you will find magical
I
wisps
only got to play this
yearning
one
for
briefly.
freedom.
Juicy.
Upon releasing them, they will empower the monsters in your map, promising more danger but more rewards.
What's the point of the game? This game has almost
You may
infinite
also find
customization
random
to
sentinels on
turn
the
your
ground near
characters
the
into
start of your
gods.
maps.
And it also
From the
has
Sentinel
infinitely
League.
scaling difficulty.
They work in a similar
So
way
you,
to before.
you just create
They
absolute
aren't
monstrous,
items, but you can click on them,
monstrous
and then
characters.
they can be activated in
Literally
that area at any
stupid,
time of your
ridiculous
choosing.
monster characters. The characters
Upon
you're seeing on the
activation,
screen
they
right
will
now
buff
are for
monsters
viewers.
around you, increasing
So they
their
look relatively
difficulty and
simple.
rewards.
Endgame PoE characters
And here's
are
one
just
for those who
absolute
like
animals.
to live dangerously.
There's
You may
always something
occasionally
to do to
find
make
a
your character
reflective
better.
mist from the Kalandra League.
Always.
It has two outcomes. It could drop a jewelry item with randomly enhanced or inverted modifier values,
This is intentionally
or
very, very
it can
slow
give a
gameplay
reflecting
to
mist
let you
item,
see what's going
which
on.
can be
Yeah.
used on an existing
This is kind
piece
of what they had
jewelry
us play at the
to perform same
original
action at a time of your choosing.
XLCon for
Good
stream.
luck. There's
Good
many
luck.
other small changes to League content. We're removing the first 15 most boring waves of the simulacrum and rebalancing its rewards to improve the chances of finding unique jewels.
Fucking hell. Is there anything they didn't
We're
touch?
also adding some of the beasts from Einhar's Memory of Harvest Beasts to the core pool. This includes the Black Morrigan. In other news, we've added a set of new chisel types, which can be applied to your maps to get different bonuses.
No way.
While the cartographer's chisel still increases item quantity, there are new ones that now increase rarity, pack size, increased chance for currency items, divination cards, and scarabs.
Fucking hell.
It's also worth mentioning that chisels now apply 20% quality per chisel to white maps, 10% to yellow maps, and 5% to red maps and higher. Unique maps still require the full 20 chisels. Also, only one type of chisel can be applied to a map at a time.
The
During
min-maxing here is
3.24,
going to be nutty.
we made a change to tier 17 maps that allowed them to be rerolled with Chaos Orbs.
Oh?
We are now expanding the currency types that can be used on them to also include currencies like chisels and Val Orbs.
Turn it up.
Ultimately, the only restriction tier
Turn it
17
up.
maps now have is that explicit modifiers cannot be removed from them. We have also revised the difficulty of these maps, as they didn't quite hit the mark.
No, they didn't.
The monsters in them now have substantially less life, and deal less damage, meaning tier 17 maps now better
Okay, so
fit
they're
into
just
the
a
progression
slightly
between pinnacle
more upgrade
and
than 16.
uber pinnacle
Okay.
content. Lastly, we've adjusted the drop rate of Valdo's puzzle boxes. Previously, we were adapting its drop rate based on the possible outcomes selected by supporters. So many supporters really wanted Mage Bloods, so the box was hardly dropping. Thus, we have drastically increased the drop rate of the box, but reduced the probability of getting chase unique items from it, like Mage Blood.
Yeah.
Overall,
Of
we
course
have
they
taken
wanted
care
Mage
not
Blood.
to reduce the number of Mage
I've never
Blood, but
played with a
total in
Mage
the
Blood. I don't
economy.
want to.
We figured it was better to have more tickets for fun rather than barely seeing
This feels
any
like my
boxes in the
league, right? Probably after the Savage race is
We've
done,
been
we
hard at work
fucking log in,
improving the
dude.
Path of
We're
Exile
not going to be there at
experience on
launch night,
consoles.
unfortunately. Which is why Chris
With
is
native ports
trolling
for
me
the
over
Xbox
here.
Series consoles already being released, and PS5 on the near horizon, the game now takes full advantage of the console hardware. Loading times have been reduced even further. Pop-in has been
Maybe this
reduced,
is my home
and
game,
textures
'cause I haven't got a
won't
PC at
start
my new
unloading in
house.
heavy scenes.
Maybe this is what I game at home.
Overall visual
PS5
fidelity
gaming?
has been improved for all new generation consoles. Path of Exile now uses the highest available resolution textures and water effects. We've installed
Let me
a
just see the
new
new skins. Getting console port, happy about that.
with that amount reduced.
I do want to see what the new shinies
Next
are.
up, we're going to be talking about our new League supporter packs.
I mean, we can get stat
Today,
shots.
we're launching two new series of supporter packs, the Paladin and Penance packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. These packs are only available for the duration of the Settlers of Kalguur League, and will leave the store forever when it ends. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic, and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way.
High five. High
The
five.
Paladin series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. Adorn your weapon or shield with the Paladin weapon effect.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Make a show of leveling up with the Harpy flyover level up effect.
Oh, flyover. Poor.
Equipping the Divine Paladin armor set will periodically cause slain enemies to be consecrated and laid to rest. This
That's a
set
drive-by,
also
Paul.
comes with a matching back attachment.
I like those wings.
Both
They're
the
good.
helmet and back attachment have options to display the radiant glow, or not. You pick. The Divine Judgment finisher effect locks onto unique enemies before obliterating them
Ion
with a
cannon,
laser
baby.
from the heavens. May your critical hits resonate across Rayclast with the Cleric's Bell back
Dink donk.
attachment.
We got a dink donk.
Invite your friends to spend a day at the races.
What?
In the Vasteri Racecourse hideout. Add rowers to the track to race them against each other. Or you can just spectate from the sidelines. The Penance Pack series also has 6 exclusive microtransactions. With the Penance back attachment equipped, a repentant soul is chained to your back and lashed with lightning. Ouch. Place none other than the Trial Master in your hideout and have him comment on your chaos
A classic, but far fairer now than in ancient times.
Classic.
and Val crafting attempts.
Your luck is over, fool.
He
They should
even
say
keeps
that
a
on
record
Double
of how
Corrupt.
many Chaos and Val orbs you've used in your hideout during the league.
You should
or
get that
across
message every
all
time you
leagues.
poof something.
Blood stains your armor the more life you lose when wearing the Acolyte's Penance armor set. The Zealot's Madness portal effect fragments as you near it. The Cauldron map device boils maps, fragments, and scarabs placed into it. keeping a tally of how many have been thrown into the pot in the current league or across all leagues.
Jesus.
The exiled squire pets follow in your footsteps, hyping you up for battles,
No sweat for you, boss.
Oh god, you can get a simp?
providing pessimistic commentary,
The cycle repeats.
or voicing their disdain for you to bring you down a peg.
About time you kick the bucket.
Okay, that could be way worse. That's pretty
These
tame
packs are
compared to
now
what it could
available
be.
for purchase on both PC and console, and will remain so during Path of Exile, Settlers of Kalguur.
Yeah, you kind of want to really... If you're going to buy that, you want somebody
Solar and
offensive.
Eldritch packs leave the store forever at the launch of Settlers of Kalguur League, so now's your last chance to purchase them. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
GG's, guys. GG's.
Now, we
That's
have one
huge.
more thing to announce before
What?
getting into the Q&A. We are soon going to be running a small closed beta test for Path of Exile 2.
Yes, sir.
We have been taking signups for the Path of Exile 2 beta tests over at pathofexile2.com. We will only be selecting a very limited number of people for this
Log
first
in,
test.
dude.
But if
Log
you
the
want to
fuck
make
in. Dude, I still stand by that grinding gear in Path of Exile is responsible for how much quality of life has had to be done for so many big games in the industry that were resting on their laurels. Like, it is the go-to to be compared to. It's like, you're charging me monthly, and this is what these guys are doing for free. Like, you need to fucking compare for that. You need to. Yeah, they're 100% responsible for changing the game. Their website crashed after the announcement. I'm not surprised. I just said to Chris, this looks amazing, and then he was trolling me. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, that is dope. That is super dope. That is great. I think we'll have to... I can't believe I have to do this. Why can't I play after Savage? Because I'm casting the Race to World first. I'm literally like at an event when the league launches. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. So it'll have to be when we get back. Yeah, it'll have to be. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, but we've got something else coming, haven't we? When's the War Within? Oh my god, this is hell. Hold on, let me check my calendar. When is the War